Single dad brings his child to job interview. Discover the incredible life-changing reveal at last. In the heart of a close-knit suburb, Jack sat at the worn kitchen table, his heart pounding like a drum. Today wasn't just another day in the life of a struggling single dad, it was the day that could redefine his family's future. Unbeknownst to him, the incredible reveal waiting around the corner would intertwine with profound emotions and unexpected outcomes. With the chilly dawn light filtering through the window, Jack felt a flicker of hope. He was heading to an interview at the esteemed manufacturing plant that had long been his ticket to stable ground. But then, reality kicked in. Who will watch Mia while I'm gone? He thought, panic washing over him. Mia, his spirited 10-year-old daughter, had been his rock through the storm of the past few months. She was a bundle of energy, swirling through their humble home like a whirlwind, filling it with giggles and art supplies. But today was different. He had to bring her along. It'll be fine, Mia, Jack reassured her, mustering a smile. Just stay quiet, draw your doodles and show them how awesome you are. Mia, ever the optimistic child, grinned back and said, I believe in you, Dad. Her faith lit a tiny flame of courage within Jack's chest. They arrived at the plant, and Jack's confidence began to wane as they faced the stern panel of interviewers. Each question felt like an examination, scrutinizing not only Jack's qualifications but also the small figure of Mia, doodling peacefully at his side. He felt uncomfortable. Maybe this was a mistake, a voice in his head whispered. Mr. Thompson, one interviewer began with an arched eyebrow, you do realize this is a professional environment? The words pierced Jack's composure. As judgment hung in the air, his chest tightened. Every awkward chuckle from the panel felt like another layer of doubt pressing down on him. Could he really provide for Mia, especially in a world that seemed quick to judge? Just when hope seemed to slip from Jack's grasp, Mia broke into the silence. My dad is my hero, she said, her voice brave and steady. Jack's heart soared and sank simultaneously as her innocent determination swept over the room. Her little hands gestured wildly as she painted a vivid picture of their life, her face aglow with admiration. He works really hard delivering groceries and mowing lawns just to keep a roof over our heads, and he always tells me to dream big. The air turned warm with emotion, tension melting away in an instant. Before Jack even realized it, the narrative had shifted. All their judgment became a memory as the interviewers exchanged glances softened by sentiment. Perhaps they saw not just a father seeking a job, but a man teaching his daughter resilience and unwavering love. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue, but just as Jack dared to envision a future filled with promise, an alarming question emerged from the panel. Would this heartfelt moment change their perception, or would it reinforce societal expectations of a normal family? As uncertainty loomed in the air, Jack and Mia exchanged a glance, unspoken courage swirling within them. The stakes felt higher than ever, leaving their fates suspended in the delicate balance between judgment and understanding. Amid doubt and fear, they wondered, would their journey of love and resilience finally lead to recognition, or would it remain a fight against unforgiving odds? The silence stretched long, each tick of the clock echoing like a heartbeat in the heavy air. Jack's palms were sweaty, his heart racing as the interviewers exchanged hushed words among themselves. Doubts clawed at him. Had Mia's heartfelt declaration made any difference, or was it simply a fleeting moment of compassion? Were they truly moved, or were they just putting on a polite facade? As he absorbed the signals from the panel, Mia's eyes were wide, her innocent faith shining through. You got this, Dad, she whispered, her tiny hand finding his, offering an anchor in the storm of nerves. Thank you, Mia, he managed to say, his voice shaky but warm. The interviewers seemed taken aback by the genuine connection they shared. One, a woman with kind eyes, leaned forward, breaking the ice with a soft smile. Children have a way of seeing the world. They remind us of what's truly important. Her words lingered in the room, and Jack felt a flicker of hope reignite within him. Perhaps this moment wasn't just a hurdle, it could be a new beginning. Yet, the challenge remained daunting. Another interviewer cleared his throat. "Mr. Thompson, can you address your long-term goals if you were to become part of our team?" The question felt almost daunting, yet it forced Jack to visualize the future. Imagining stability for Mia was a clear beacon, propelling him forward. "Honestly," he started, taking a deep breath, "my priority is to create a secure life for Mia. I want to ensure she never has to worry about basic needs, and instead can focus on her dreams." He glanced at Mia, who was now doodling furiously, lost in her world of creativity, blissfully unaware of the weight of the moment. Stability won't only give her security, it will also inspire her to chase her passions without fear, Jack continued, his voice gathering strength. "Every decision I make is for her, and with this job, I see the potential to provide her not just with what she needs, but to grow together as a family." The interviewers were quiet, contemplating the depth of his words. He could sense a shift, a softening of their expressions. For a brief moment, Jack felt like he was breaking down walls he didn't realize were standing walls made of expectations and the pressures of society. Then, the woman spoke again, her voice steady yet filled with empathy. "It sounds like you are deeply committed. However, we must consider the challenges of balancing work and family." Jack tightened his grip on Mia's hand, preparing for the weight of another question, but instead, he felt a warmth in the room, a shared understanding. "Yeah, it's tough," he admitted, "but being a single dad has taught me resilience. It's not always perfect, but we lift each other up through everything." The panel's eyes softened further, and Mia looked up, her face beaming. Jack felt buoyed by her presence, realizing they were in this together, their bond stronger than any fear or judgment that might come. Just as a sense of hope washed over him, the atmosphere shifted again. Another interviewer leaned back, folding his hands thoughtfully. "Mr. Thompson, if we decide to move forward, we would like to discuss some family-friendly policies we have in place." Jack's heart raced again. Was it really possible? Could this be an opportunity to reshape their lives? But even as hope surged, an underlying anxiety bubbled beneath the surface. Would he truly be able to navigate this new world, with its demands and expectations? As they wrapped up the interview, Jack and Mia left the room, the hallway humming with anticipation. Outside, the sun shone brighter, casting a hopeful glow over their journey ahead. But as they stepped into the warmth, a pang of uncertainty gnawed at Jack's heart. What if this hope wasn't just fleeting? What if it led to a broader revelation about their family, one that challenged everything he believed about the world? As they walked toward the car, hand in hand, he couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning of a much larger story about love, struggle, and transformation. The drive home felt different, lighter somehow. The air was filled with the scent of fresh grass and blooming flowers, and for the first time in a long while, Jack felt the weight of uncertainty lift. Mia chattered excitedly about her art project, her voice bubbling over the silence in the car, and a smile crept onto Jack's face. She had a way of finding joy in the smallest of things, making every moment feel just a bit brighter. "Dad, can we get ice cream?" she asked, her big eyes sparkling with anticipation. "Sure, let us celebrate," he said, glancing at her in the rearview mirror. The thought of stopping for ice cream made him feel like maybe, just maybe, things were going to work out. As they pulled into the ice cream shop, Jack parked and turned off the car. Mia was already unbuckling her seatbelt, ready to leap into the warmth of the sun and the sweet promise of a cool treat. He followed her, taking a deep breath, filled with an unexpected lightness. Inside, the shop was filled with colors, the bright pinks and greens of the ice cream flavors, the laughter of children, and the sound of scoops hitting the cone in the hands of cheerful workers. Jack could feel himself relaxing, letting go of half that constant anxiety that had accompanied him for so long. "What flavor are you getting?" Mia called out as she ran to the large menu board. "Maybe chocolate, how about you?" "I want the rainbow sherbet," she exclaimed, hopping with excitement. As they ordered, Jack couldn't help but watch her. She was so full of life, her laughter ringing through the space, and he felt a surge of love and pride. Every struggle he faced was worth it if it meant giving her these moments of joy. Once they had their ice cream, they found a small table outside. It was the kind of day that felt like a turning point, warm but not too hot, sunny with a light breeze. Jack felt content as he watched Mia dive into her rainbow sherbet. It dripped down her hand, and she giggled, wiping it on her jeans, her joy infectious. "Can you believe it? You might have a job soon, Dad," she exclaimed. Her excitement was a balm for Jack's nerves. "Yeah, we'll see. It's still a bit uncertain," he admitted, but couldn't help the hopefulness creeping into his voice. "But you said you will make things better for us," she replied, her little brows furrowing. Jack felt the weight of her words. "I want to make sure you have everything you need, Mia. But it's also important to be patient. Sometimes good things take time." She nodded, her face thoughtful for a moment. "Like when I'm trying to finish my painting and I need to wait for the colors to dry?" "Exactly. Good things need patience, sweetheart." Just then, a familiar face walked by, the kind-eyed woman from the interview panel, her husband beside her. She waved, her smile brightening the afternoon. Jack's heart quickened. "Mia, that's the lady from the interview." Mia's eyes went wide. "She looks nice. You should say hi." Jack hesitated, a wave of shyness washing over him, but with Mia's encouraging nudge, he stood. The woman had paused, recognizing him as she walked past. "Mr. Thompson. It's great to see you," she said, genuinely warm. Hi. I was just, Mia jumped in, her little hand waving wildly. "We just got ice cream to celebrate. Dad might get the job." The woman's face lit up. "Oh, that's wonderful. You must be so proud." Just then, Jack felt a warm rush of confidence surge through him. "Thank you. We are hopeful." As they exchanged friendly words, Jack felt a spark of connection, an affirmation that this journey was about more than a job. It was about creating a life full of those little moments of happiness. After they parted ways, Mia turned to him, her excitement palpable. "Did you see that? We know someone." Jack chuckled. "Yeah, and who knows? Maybe this is a sign." Yes, he thought, maybe hope wouldn't just be a feeling, but a path forward. As they finished their ice cream, Jack realized that he had to face whatever came next, not just for himself but for Mia. The realization hit him there were hurdles ahead, and doubts would still linger, but they would tackle them together. But just as they got into the car, ready to drive home with sweet memories tucked away, Jack's phone buzzed with a notification. He frowned, feeling a knot in his stomach. What if it was bad news? Could this joy turn upside down? He glanced at Mia, who was buzzing with joy, unaware. As he reached for his phone, Jack couldn't shake the feeling that this moment might change everything. Jack's fingers trembled slightly as he picked up the phone, half expecting the worst. The screen lit up with a message from the interview panel. His heart raced as he opened it, bracing himself for any rejection that might come. Instead, the words jumped out at him. "Congratulations, you've been offered the position." The world around him blurred for a moment. A rush of emotions surged through him: shock, excitement, relief, and the most undeniable feeling of gratitude swelled in his chest. He turned to Mia, who was busy licking the remnants of her ice cream. "Mia!" he exclaimed, his voice a mix of disbelief and joy. She blinked up at him, ice cream smeared across her cheek in a way that somehow made her look more adorable. "What? Did you get a new phone?" "No." "Even better." Jack burst out, barely containing his excitement. "Dad got the job." Her eyes widened in amazement. "The job? Really?" Jack nodded vigorously. "Yes. And it starts next week." A giggle erupted from Mia, her joy contagious. "We did it, Dad. We did it." She spun in her seat, clapping her hands. It was the sound of celebration, pure and innocent, a sound Jack longed to hear more in their lives together. As they drove away from the ice cream shop, Jack couldn't shake the overwhelming wave of optimism. Deep down, he knew that this job would mean changes, new routines, and challenges. But for now, all that mattered was this moment, the fresh hope sparkling in the air like the morning sun glinting off dew-kissed grass. "Mia," he said, glancing at her in the rearview mirror, "you have no idea how much this means to me. It means I can give you more of, well, everything. I think it means we can finally get a pet," she suggested, her mind racing ahead to possibilities. Jack laughed. "A pet? Let us take it one step at a time. But they're so cute. Imagine a dog," she said, her excitement bubbling over again, her eyes sparkling with all the dreams she could conjure. "Or a cat. Can we at least think about it?" "Maybe," he said, letting her imagination take flight as they drove through familiar streets, now feeling charged with new potential. They chatted about the future, about pets, vacations, and all the things they could do together, and for the first time, Jack felt he could taste every dream, both sweet and vivid. However, as they turned onto their street, Jack's heart sank just a little as he remembered the rent was due soon. He'd need to manage their finances wisely. His excitement was punctured with the weight of life's realities. But he shook it off, telling himself to focus on the good things. They would make it work, just like they always had. Once home, they spilled out of the car and hurried to the door, Mia pulling on his arm with every step. The world inside their modest apartment felt different somehow, almost inviting them to fill it with laughter and hope. "Mia, can you help me make a big congratulations sign for the fridge?" he asked, his voice light but laced with genuine enthusiasm. Her eyes widened again. "Yes. Yes. I can draw a huge rainbow." Jack smiled as she dashed to her art supplies, then paused as he took a breath. For the first time in a long time, he felt like he was moving forward, not just reacting to life's challenges. As they settled on the kitchen floor with colorful markers and paper spread around, jubilant creativity sparked between them. The doorbell rang unexpectedly, and Jack felt a sense of dread gnaw at his gut, thinking of all possibilities. He exchanged glances with Mia, who looked at him with intrigue and a hint of worry. Should they answer it? His heart thudded in his chest. "Want to check it out?" Jack asked, curiosity edged with caution. Mia nodded, excitement flickering in her gaze. With a nod of determination, Jack stood and made his way to the door. What awaited him on the other side could change everything again. Who was it, and what news did they bring? With a deep breath, he opened the door, ready to face whatever lay ahead. Standing on the threshold, Jack prepared himself for anything. As he swung the door open, the familiar smell of freshly cut grass mingled with the sweet scent of honeysuckle wafting from the neighbor's yard. However, in front of him stood an unexpected visitor. It was Mr. Thompson, the building manager, and his face was unusually serious. Jack felt the excitement of the moment tingle away, replaced by a flicker of apprehension. He forced a smile, hoping to calm both himself and Mia behind him. "Hey, Mr. Thompson. What brings you here?" Jack said, trying to infuse his voice with a sense of ease. "Jack," Mr. Thompson began, his tone shuffling the air between them. "I need to talk to you about the rent, and some concerns I've been hearing." Jack's stomach flipped. "Concerns?" he echoed, trying to keep his voice steady as he recalled the looming rent payment. He could feel Mia pressing against him, her small hand gripping his shirt, sensing the tension. "Yeah, a few tenants have mentioned noise from your apartment during late hours," Mr. Thompson said, cautiously. "I know things have been tough, and I just want to ensure everyone's comfortable." The reality of the situation hit Jack like a punch. They had been a little louder than usual, joyful chaos arising from late-night drawing sessions and laughter while making dinner. But now, he couldn't help but feel the sting of judgment creeping in. "I'm sorry about that. I'll make sure we keep it down. Just keep it in mind, all right?" Mr. Thompson nodded, his expression softening slightly. "And remember, if you need any help, don't hesitate to ask." "Thanks, I appreciate it," Jack replied, grateful but still caught in the sudden heaviness of the conversation. As Mr. Thompson waved goodbye and started to walk away, Jack leaned against the doorframe, the reality of their financial situation hanging over him like a dark cloud. He turned back to find Mia regarding him with wide eyes. "What did he say, Daddy?" she asked, her innocence crashing into the storm of Jack's thoughts. Just a little reminder to be quieter, he replied, forcing a smile he didn't truly feel. Okay. Can we go on with our rainbow sign now? She cheered, breaking through the heaviness. Her eagerness sparked a warmth in Jack, reminding him of their shared joy amidst the weight of adulthood. Absolutely, he said, stepping back inside and shutting the door on the outside world. As they settled back on the kitchen floor, he pushed aside the worry that lingered as he watched Mia draw the brightest, most beautiful rainbow she could imagine. With every stroke, the weight on Jack's shoulders lightened slightly. It was as if the colors represented hope itself, a reminder that life would stay vibrant as long as they shared these moments together. Maybe we can actually get some pets after all, he said, his tone playful, trying to see the silver lining. A dog that loves to play in the yard, and a cat that can nap with you in the afternoon? Yay! Mia squealed, vibrant crayons flying in every direction. Will they help us make rainbows too? Jack chuckled. Of course. They'll be our rainbow helpers. But, we should really make sure to first, keep that noise down. Just then, the doorbell rang again, interrupting their creative whirlwind. Jack's heart leaped again. Was it Mr. Thompson returning? Or someone else with more concerns? What if it's a surprise party? Mia whispered, eyes wide with anticipation, completely oblivious to the unease creeping back into Jack's chest. Let us find out, Jack said, masking his uncertainty with determination. He walked to the door again, wondering if their world was about to change again in a way he didn't expect. As he reached for the doorknob, a mix of excitement and dread caught in his throat. Who would it be this time, and what could they possibly want? Jack took a deep breath and opened the door, bracing himself for whatever awaited him. Standing there was a woman with a friendly smile, her hair pulled back, revealing an animated face full of warmth. Hi. I'm Sarah, the new neighbor from apartment 3B. I hope I'm not bothering you. Mia peeked out from behind Jack's leg, her curiosity sparking as she tried to gauge the newcomer. No, not at all. Jack replied, relieved to see a friendly face. It's nice to meet you. We're just busy making some art. Oh, I love art. Can I see? Sarah knelt down to meet Mia's eye level, and the sudden connection lit up the room. Sure. Mia exclaimed, moving aside to reveal the bright rainbow sprawled across multiple sheets of paper. Sarah's eyes lit up, mirroring the vibrant colors. Wow, this is beautiful. You are quite the artist. Mia beamed, clearly flattered. The weight of the earlier visit from Mr. Thompson began to lift as Jack watched the interaction unfold. Thank you. I'm going to paint a unicorn next. Mia declared, her imagination running wild. Unicorns? That sounds amazing. Do you want any help? Jack grinned, feeling the tension from moments before waning with every movement. I think she'd love that. Sometimes it's nice to have a second pair of hands. Only if you promise not to make a mess in my apartment. Sarah teased, her laughter infectious. Jack chuckled. Deal. Just then, a thought flickered through Jack's mind, pushing against the hopeful atmosphere. Did you notice Mr. Thompson earlier? He asked, his voice dropping slightly. Sarah's expression shifted ever so slightly. I did. He's just doing his job. I guess he worries about us all, but I think it's good to have someone looking out for the building. Yeah, it's just we've been a little loud lately. I don't want to make things complicated, Jack admitted, his gaze flickering toward Mia, who was happily coloring. Trust me. Every family has their moments. She paused, her eyes softening. You should focus on the good times. That's what matters. Jack felt a warmth wash over him, igniting a sliver of hope. Could new friendships help bridge the loneliness creeping quietly in his life? He had always kept his circle small, focused entirely on Mia. But maybe Sarah was a sign. So, do you want to join us for arts and crafts sometime? He asked hesitantly, hoping he wasn't being too forward. Absolutely. I'd love to. I may not be as talented as your little one, but I can try. Sarah laughed, sending a ripple of joy through the space. As they chatted, Jack found himself relaxing more. The tension of their situation didn't disappear, but he sensed a shift in opportunity for fresh connections amidst the uncertainty. After a while, Sarah glanced at her watch. I should let you get back to your masterpiece. But I'll be around if you need anything. And don't hesitate to knock if you ever want some company. Thank you, Sarah, Jack said genuinely. Suddenly, the door swung open wider, revealing Mr. Thompson lurking nearby. Just checking in, Jack. Oh, I see you've met Sarah, he remarked, a touch of surprise in his tone. Jack's stomach twisted again, but Sarah smiled kindly at the building manager. Yeah, I just popped by to say hello, she chirped. Mr. Thompson nodded, his expression unreadable. That's good to hear. Just remember community matters. As he walked away, Jack's heart raced. His mind swirled with questions. Could Sarah be part of a solution for him? Or was he just grasping for threads of hope? With Mia laughing about her rainbow, Jack watched Sarah leave with a glimmer of something new. Was it the start of friendship or something more? What could happen next in their journey together, and would their new bond withstand the challenges ahead? In the days that followed, the atmosphere in their apartment shifted. Jack felt a subtle lightness in the air, a new possibility floating just out of reach. Mia's laughter was more profound now, and the sound of crayons scratching against paper melded with thoughts of Sarah. He found himself glancing at the door more often, half expecting Sarah to knock again. One afternoon, as they were working on their unicorn project, the familiar rhythm of Mia's giggles filled the room. Jack couldn't help but join in, a smile stretching across his face as he watched her unleash a flurry of imagination. The bright colors filled the walls, spilling over with creativity. Dad, do you think unicorns really exist? Mia asked, her small brow furrowed in genuine wonder. Jack paused, considering the innocent question. Well, honey, they might not exist in real life, but they do in our hearts. And that's what makes them special. Mia grinned, visibly satisfied. But just as the moment settled into a pleasant silence, their doorbell rang. Jack's heartbeat quickened, and before he could think too much about it, he rushed to open the door. There stood Sarah, her arms filled with what looked like art supplies and a picnic basket balanced precariously on one hip. Surprise! She chirped, her smile wide and warm. Hey! What's this? Jack asked, peering at the items she carried. I thought we could have some fun with Mia today. I brought some paints and snacks for an outdoor art party. Sarah exclaimed, her energy bubbling over. Outdoor? Jack's throat caught a bit. The idea felt new and strange. They hadn't really spent time outside of their apartment in recent weeks, and he felt a flash of apprehension. Yeah. There's a park just down the street. We can paint there. The sunlight will make your rainbow pop even more. She practically bounced on her feet. Mia squeaked with joy, grabbing Jack's hand. Can we? Please, Dad? Jack looked from Mia's sparkling eyes to Sarah's eager grin. A voice inside him whispered to let go of his worries, to take a chance. All right, he agreed with a nod. Let us do it. As they gathered their things, Jack couldn't shake the feeling of stepping into the unknown. Sure, it was easy to bond with Sarah in the safe cocoon of their apartment, but stepping outside that comfort zone felt monumental. The park was bustling with families, laughter blending with the sounds of children running wild. Jack felt a mix of anxiety and exhilaration wash over him. What would it be like to share space with Sarah in such an open environment? The picnic Sarah set up felt like a leap into new territory for him. They spread a blanket under the dappled shade of a large oak tree. The three of them settled on the grass, laughter spilling freely as they unveiled their supplies. Mia's hands got messy with paint, but she didn't seem to care. Sarah helped her create swirling designs, calling out bright ideas that made Mia squeal with excitement. Jack watched, half participating, half captivated. Sarah was vibrant, coaxing joy from Mia with every brushstroke. Yet, as they painted together, Jack felt urgency nagging at him, a realization creeping up that perhaps he might start to rely on Sarah too much. Could developing this bond distract him from his responsibilities? But watching Mia immerse herself in this moment of joy, Jack felt the weight in his chest ease a little. Maybe this was worth it, a new beginning amidst uncertain circumstances. Just then, a sharp voice interrupted their laughter. "It's really inappropriate to have such a messy activity in a public park, you know," a stern woman huffed. Her eyes narrowed disapprovingly at the art supplies scattered around. Jack's heart sank. Conflict threatened to shatter their joyful bubble. What would he say? Would he defend their innocent fun or let it disrupt this newfound connection with Sarah? His heart raced as he looked to Sarah, waiting for her reaction. Would they stand together, or would this challenge tear them apart? What would Jack decide to do next? Jack's pulse quickened as he met Sarah's gaze. She held her paintbrush mid-air, her expression shifting from joy to concern as she processed the woman's words. Jack could feel the tension thickening, the air charged with a discomfort that threatened to dampen the spirit of their day. "Excuse me?" Jack managed to say, his voice steady despite the churning in his stomach. Wasn't he just going to wilt under the glare of this stranger? Not today, not in front of Mia. "You heard me," the woman frowned, crossing her arms. "You're making quite the mess here. Parks are for enjoying nature, not for creating chaos." Sarah stepped forward, her brow knitted. "We're just having fun and exploring creativity. It's not a problem as long as we clean up afterwards." The woman scoffed. "And how do I know you'll do that? You can't just disrupt everyone else's peace for your little art project." Jack took a deep breath, feeling Mia shift beside him. He glanced down at her, the wide-eyed innocence still alive in her face. He didn't want her day tarnished by negativity. "We're here to enjoy ourselves and we intend to leave everything just as we found it," Jack asserted, a firmness seeping into his words. "There's space for joy in this park, just like there is for nature." The woman looked taken aback, her mouth opening slightly in surprise. For a brief moment, there was silence, the kind that allowed uncertainty to hang in the air. Uninvited yet fully present, Mia's small hand tugged at Jack's shirt. "Can we still paint, Dad? Please?" she whispered, her hopeful voice cutting through the tension. Jack looked at her, and in that heartbeat, something shifted. He wanted for Mia what he hadn't allowed himself, the freedom to feel joy without fear. "Yes, honey, we can still paint," he said firmly. Turning back to the woman, he softened his voice. "We're not bothering anyone. We'll make sure to tidy up. Can't you at least let us enjoy this moment?" The woman huffed once more, glancing around as if seeking validation from other parkgoers. But she stayed silent, and in that stillness, Jack felt a surge of confidence he hadn't anticipated. "Thank you," Sarah murmured, and a flicker of respect passed between her and Jack. They both turned back to Mia, who was now beaming at the delicious mess she was creating. With a renewed sense of purpose, Sarah dove back into their art, encouraging Mia to mix colors and let her imagination run wild. Jack joined them, brushing the vibrant hues onto the canvas of the world around them. He felt an unexpected thrill in the defiance no one was going to color their day black and white out of fear of mess, but as Mia splattered paint, Jack couldn't shake the feeling that their fun had come with a cost. It was a reminder of what was at stake, the delicate balance between embracing new beginnings and not letting the noise of the outside world penetrate the peace they were trying to build. Moments later, after a blissful stretch of laughter and colorful creations, the woman walked away, scoffing quietly to herself. Jack exchanged glances with Sarah, both sighing in relief, but the weight of their earlier confrontation lingered. "I admire your courage," Sarah said lightly, but there was sincerity in her eyes. "Thanks," Jack replied, a cautious smile flickering on his face. "I guess I'm learning sometimes you have to stand up for joy." As the sun began to dip lower in the sky, casting a warm glow over their vibrant masterpiece, Jack felt the boundaries of what he thought was possible expanding. But as they finished their painting, an unusual sound caught Jack's ear, a distant voice calling out with urgency. His heart sank. It was familiar, a voice he hadn't heard in years, echoing over the laughter and the paint. "Jack, wait. We need to talk." Who was calling his name and why did it fill him with dread? Mia and Sarah turned to him, confusion etched on their faces. Was it time for another confrontation? Jack's breath hitched in his throat. The voice wasn't just any voice, it was a specter from his past, a reminder of things he had worked hard to forget. Mia, stay close, he said, forcing himself to sound calm. He turned slowly, willing the familiar figure to materialize through the trees, readying himself for whatever was about to unfold. A woman stepped into view, her face half hidden by the branches. Jack's heart hammered louder, bracing for a confrontation. It was Rebecca, his ex-wife, the woman who had once filled his life with love and now seemed to dredge up the pain of their separation. The distance between them felt impossibly vast, yet in an instant, memories of shared laughter and broken promises surged within him. Jack, she called again, her tone softer now, tinged with urgency. Please, it's important. By now, Sarah stood a few steps back, her paintbrush lowered, watching the scene unfold. Mia, still clutching her brush, peeked up at her father, unsure of what to make of the tense encounter. What do you want, Rebecca? Jack asked, struggling to keep his voice steady. After all this time, why now? His fists clenched, trying to hold back a cocktail of emotions that surged through him: anger, confusion, and the flicker of hope. I just need to talk, Rebecca replied, her eyes filled with something he couldn't quite decipher. It's about Mia. His heart lurched. The mention of their daughter sent a wave of protectiveness coursing through him. Mia's fine. We've been fine. He glanced at his daughter, who was now drawn into the conversation, her innocence contrasting sharply with the heaviness in the air. Mia needs more than just fine, Jack, Rebecca continued, stepping closer, her voice almost a whisper. There are things I didn't tell you, things you need to know. Jack's mind raced. What could possibly be that significant? Why had she waited until now, standing on the edges of his life, only to interrupt this beautiful moment with urgent words? He could see curiosity and confusion reflected in Mia's big eyes as she took a step closer, eager to understand, trying to mask the whirlwind of emotions within him. Jack spoke, if it's about co-parenting or schedule changes, no. Rebecca interrupted, shaking her head passionately. This is much bigger. It's about who Mia really is. The leaf rustled in the gentle afternoon wind, amplifying the silence that followed. Jack was torn between frustration and fear. What could possibly be hidden about his own daughter? Just tell me what you mean, he urged, his voice more firm than before. Mia, she has a gift, Jack. One that neither of us understood. Mia looked up at her mother, the paintbrush still frozen in midair. The innocence of her expression made Jack want to protect her from whatever distress this conversation could bring. Is it true? Jack asked hesitantly, searching Rebecca's face for a glimmer of truth. Does she know? Mia has a talent, Rebecca said softly, and Jack could see she was attempting to hold back tears. One that I've been afraid to acknowledge, but she has to know. She deserves to know. The tension thickened, and Jack's heart raced with uncertainty. He wanted to push her for more details, to demand clarity, but all he could think about was how this could change everything for Mia. As Mia stepped closer to Jack, fortifying against the uncertainty swirling between her parents, Jack felt the grip of impending revelations tightening around him. Dad, can I paint? Mia asked innocently, her small voice breaking the silence filled with heavy words. Jack looked down at her, torn between wanting to protect her and recognizing the importance of whatever Rebecca was about to share. You can paint, sweetheart, he said softly, before turning back to Rebecca. What are you saying about her talent? But before she could reply, the sound of hurried footsteps approached, jarring them from their intimate circle. Jack spun around to find another familiar face, a police officer, looking tense, scanning the park for something urgent. This isn't over, Rebecca whispered, her eyes locking onto Jack's, and... In that moment, Jack realized the stakes were much higher than he could have anticipated. As the officer called out for Rebecca, Jack felt the grip of a larger conflict enveloping them, and he knew one thing for sure. He needed to protect Mia at all costs. What secrets lurked beneath the surface, and what revelations awaited them? As the police officer strode into view, Jack felt a surge of panic wash over him. He inhaled deeply, steeling himself against whatever chaos was about to ensue. "What is going on?" he asked, his heart thumping in his chest. "Mia," the officer called out. Jack instinctively pulled her closer, shielding her from whatever storm was brewing. The officer's eyes fell on Rebecca, a mix of urgency and confusion flashing across his expression. "Ma'am, we need to speak with you." Rebecca paled, her gaze darting around as if searching for an escape. "No, wait. This isn't about what you think," she insisted, but her voice trembled. Jack's protective instincts kicked in. "What is this about? Is Mia in trouble?" He held Mia tightly, feeling her small body shiver slightly against him. "Mia's not in trouble," the officer reassured, calm yet firm. "But there are serious concerns due to your recent situation." Jack looked between the officer and Rebecca, suspicion swirling in his gut. "What do you mean by concerns?" "Mia's safety comes first," the officer continued. "We've received reports about disturbances, and we have to ensure she's in a safe environment, no matter the circumstances." "What reports? From who?" Jack's voice was sharp, protective instincts flaring as he shielded Mia further. Rebecca stepped forward. "It's about the noise," she admitted, looking guilty. "But it's just us trying to be a family again." "I never thought." "Trying to be a family?" Jack reiterated, bitterness creeping into his tone. "You think this is an easy situation to handle?" "Mia deserves to know," Rebecca said again, desperation lining her voice. "I'm not trying to control anything, I just thought maybe this was how to help her." Mia tugged at Jack's shirt, confusion painting her face. "Mom? I don't understand." Tears brimmed in her eyes, fragile innocence caught in the crossfire of adult drama. Jack crouched to meet her gaze, brushing the hair away from her forehead. "Sweetheart, everything's fine. We just need to figure this out." He turned back to Rebecca, the tension crackling in the air between them. "What exactly are you trying to tell Mia?" "I think she should know about her gift," Rebecca reiterated, her voice firm yet trembling. Jack opened his mouth to challenge her again, but words evaded him. Instinctively, he knew this revelation could shift everything, not just their current chaos but the very foundation upon which his life had been built. The officer looked between the two parents. "Let us not add to this tension," he said, his voice smooth yet commanding. "We need to talk, Rebecca. The truth will help." Jack felt his chest tighten, the paradox of wanting to protect Mia while navigating through the mess Rebecca had created coursing through him. He took a deep breath and focused on Mia. "We're here for you, kiddo. No matter what." Mia's expression changed, warmth igniting as a tiny smile cracked through her worry. "I love you, Dad." The innocence in her voice melted Jack's heart and reminded him of all that was at stake. "Okay, Rebecca. Let us hear it," Jack said finally, his voice steady and calm as he faced the unfolding truth. He could feel the weight of her secrets pressing down hard. In that moment, he finally understood that the journey was not merely about finding stability at work or creating a safe space. It was also about yielding to whatever this chaotic life revealed together. Rebecca took a moment, her eyes clouded with emotion. "Mia has special abilities. I wasn't sure how to explain it before, but if there are challenges ahead, she needs to know how to navigate them. It's tied to her creativity and more." Jack's eyes widened. "What do you mean? What kind of abilities?" "I've been receiving reports from people who notice her art and the way it resonates. She inspires people, Jack." "There's potential in that," Rebecca confessed. The officer placed a comforting hand on Jack's shoulder as if sensing the depth of the moment. "That's why we're concerned, Mr. Thompson. We want to make sure Mia's environment supports her growth." With every word Rebecca spoke, Jack felt a new world open up. Could this truly be? Mia's laughter, her joy, it meant something more. He now understood that the struggles they faced didn't just center on ordinary life but were tied to something extraordinary. Turning to Mia, Jack knelt again, folding her into an embrace. "Mia, you're special. What your mom is saying, it means you can do incredible things. Things that might be a little different from what most kids do. Mia looked up at him with wide, curious eyes. But I'd just like to paint. Jack smiled, wiping a small tear from her cheek. Yes, and that's the best part. Just remember that whatever happens, we'll face this together. With your talents. The officer looked relieved, and even Rebecca softened slightly. As the wave of urgency receded, Jack felt hope bloom within him. They'd figure this out for Mia, for the family. They could still be together. They would navigate the unexpected storms and cherish every vibrant moment on their journey ahead. As they stood in the park, amongst laughter and spilled paint, the shadows of doubt began to dissolve. This was the real world they could build, the one filled with love, creativity, and a brighter future. So, as you read this journey of transformation, if it inspired you, fill up that like button. You need to subscribe now for more incredible stories unfolding just like Jack's. Comment below on your feelings about this ending, and what you think lies ahead for Mia and Jack. Don't wait not even one more second to share it with at least 5 friends who need to catch up with this adventure in life and love. This is the moment to show your support. Your engagement matters.